Hey guys, how's it going? Anna Alchemist of the Arts here. I thought I would share some intuitive thoughts about the energy for the new moon and leading into that. Obviously, we've just headed into autumn if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, which brings with it a lot of seasonal change, but there is a lot of change within us as well. I've been here today filming some footage to create some guided meditations and affirmations, and that's something I really hope to be able to share very, very soon. My Patreons will get to see that first. I've very, very much been feeling a call to change some of the ways in which I work, and this has been part of this very transitional energy I think we've all been going through at the moment, especially people who have been, on their path and doing their work for some time. It could feel like a massive regression through some of these retrograde energies, are going back over old ground and really working through some of the things that we've already worked through. And that can be challenging in itself. It can raise a lot of existential doubt about where we are, about what we're supposed to be doing. But this new moon, I think, is bringing a sense of clarity and renewed vigor, some renewed effort, and some intention to create bigger, to create bolder, to create better, create more authentically from our most deep and most authentic self-expression, and allowing that to really shine at this time. And I feel like the dismantling of all of those previous constructs of self, ideas of self, identifications where we feel that we have to do things a certain way, they really and truly are being cleared out of our path. And that can be a really disruptive and quite disheartening process sometimes. But part of this persistent self-evolution, these cycles of death and rebirth, the dark nights of the soul, the shedding of our own skin, the alchemical transformation of our personal experiences into the wealth in which we can share and help and uplift others, has been, we have to go through those processes in order to become anew. And that does mean allowing what has faded away, what is now done, to leave, to oscillate out. But the ego mind can grasp hold of that and say, but I want this security, I want this stability. And if we don't find that, if we don't feel that, we can feel that sense of lack. But actually, that void, that creational space that we create when we finally and truly surrender to what is trying to leave our lives, or what really has served its purpose for us, we create that space without resistance to allow for something new to come in. So it's a really powerful and potent time, I feel personally, to really embrace and embody that essence of autumn, that releasing what no longer serves, of letting go, coming up to this Libra new moon and finding this new sense of balance within ourselves, this sense of inner balance that is in our sovereign self, that claims our sovereign self, our most authentic nature, and allows that to be expressed in the ways in which we are called. And that could be new. It could be new services or offering. It could be new jobs. It could just be the newest expression of ourself and how that impacts the people around us in a positive way. And not necessarily that we go out to do that, but just by being ourselves, that's what happens. So it does feel like a really shifting time. Some of the other messages I've got coming through is this sense of justice being restored. The god Tyr in the rune Tivars coming through very, very strongly. So there could be unexpected justice of some kind, a return to balance, a return of something unexpected, especially, we're still in Mercury retrograde. There is this really strong sense of something being returned to us. And this could be on a very personal level, but on a very bigger scale, there could be unexpected turns of events that could be quite transformative in the bigger picture, and things coming to light, information coming to light, news coming to light that perhaps might cause some shock and disruption, but in the grand scheme of things, it's leveling things out and it's a return to justice and balance. So it's a really positive time to be setting our intentions, to be thinking about the new that we're going to create over the coming months. I feel like this cycle has already begun, but now is really the time when we can be focusing that energy and looking at that dreams and the inspiration within us and what it is saying to us, and taking note of that inner discomfort, as I said in my Mabel message. Focusing the intention with this new moon energy, harnessing the power of these retrograde energies, seeing the lessons that are coming through from these shadows or experiences of the past, or the return of people, the uprising of old emotions. What's coming to the surface? Why is it coming to the surface to be released? It's connected to a part of us most often that we no longer need to identify with. And actually, the vision of what we're creating moving forwards requires us to let go of that in some way. So it feels like this is just a hugely transformative time in our lives, and just in general for the collective. Everything is shifting and changing, and I dare say over the coming years so many different structures and things within the world are going to be quite unrecognizable as they are today, and this, I believe, is a part of this process in order to build something new. So definitely returning to our hearts, really connecting the heart and the throat chakras and working with them, recalling back your power, your energy from anything that is no longer feels like of your highest service, and returning it back to self so that we can express that in a new way. So I thought I would do some runes. I will do a tarot reading for the new moon energies, but I thought I'd do some runes. I have my trusty favourite rune set that I use for readings. So let's just see what's come through. Answers, yes. Rune of very deep ancestral connection, of connection to higher forces, of divine communication. It's symbolized by the breath of Odin, that life that animates us, allowing that essence, a truest essence of self, to be communicated to us, reconnecting with our ancestral roots, reconnecting with our higher self, with source, whatever you wish to call it, whatever feels right for you, and really establishing that deep inner connection so that you can receive that feedback, the messages, the guidance, and that those intuitive nudges that are going to assist us in moving forwards and moving towards our greatest potential. I don't want to say a particular direction and say that there is a path that is right and all the others are wrong, because it's quite often not like that at all. It is all a weaving of everything that aligns us with our greatest potential, and we're allowed to shift in each and every moment to realign with what feels right for us intuitively. So definitely the Answers rune coming through really strong there. What else is going to come out? Wunyo, and this is a return to joy, a return to focusing on the things that feel enriching, that uplift us, that bring us joy, bliss, happiness, comfort, the people, the places, the connections, the things that foster that feeling within us. If we are a mirror of our person, if the universe is a mirror of our emotional state, of our dwelling state, of where we are, then being in that state is going to reflect more of that back to us. If we are focused on particular areas of life that might be difficult or challenging, or feel very misaligned for us right now, then that kind of energy, that frustration, is going to be repeatedly reflected back to us. So by coming back to the joy, coming back to our bliss, our happiness, our sense of satisfaction, is going to bring that more to your focus and help that be reflected more back in your experience. It's why I'm in the woods today, is because I wanted to be somewhere I know brings me that joy and that peace. So let's do one more rune and see what comes through. And we've got daggers, and I think this is probably the best representation of those cycles of reanimation, of the sun rising once again, but that does mean as that cycle rolls through, we go through those dark times, we go through those shadowy phases, the dark nights, but what comes after them is a new dawn, a new sense of awakening, a reconnection with ourselves on a different level. We go through these cycles and we are dismantling aspects of ourselves, identifications of self that we have outlived and outlasted. And that disintegration is not to take us away and destroy us completely, but in order to rebirth us into the next evolution, the next elevation. I think when people talk of ascension, they can see it as very much it sounds very much, just one way. But how this replays in different spiritual experiences, in different belief systems, is very, very personal. For me, it is these cycles of death and rebirth. I'm always reminded that Dagaz reminds me of Ouroboros, of Jormungand, of that cyclical experience and the eternity of those cycles. It's symbolized by the sun, and the sun sets and the sun rises in sequence. So if you're going through difficult times, know that you are going through an experience that is likely shifting you right now. Sometimes we just have to surrender to those experiences in order for the next phase to really come through for us, to really release that attachment to that old way of being, or even the situation and the experience that we're having. Honor the emotions, write it out, journal it, express it any way in which you need to. And then once you've gone through and honored that part of yourself, you might receive wisdom and inspiration through that moment. But once you've gone through that experience, you can go to that place of surrender and say, okay, I'm ready to release this now. I'm ready to release this and embark upon what is coming. I'm ready to step into the new that is coming, and just allow yourself to literally transition into the new phase. That's the most challenging part of personal transformation, I find, is just allowing the process to unfold. We can have epiphanies and awareness that strike really, really quickly, really, really intensely. And we think that in that moment, that's it, that's done. But it is a gradual process. We're spiritual beings of absolutely unlimited potential. We are the connection of everything in existence, and everything that has been lays within us as memory. But we're also human, and we have human thought patterns, and working with those, honoring the fact that we are physically here right now, and we have human emotions, and they can be really, really difficult and absolutely take over sometimes. It is a process as everything within us comes into balance. So if you've been going through major shifts right now, it feels like that's a really big message, that things are going to come into a sense of balance and alignment. So really harnessing that Libra energy of being patient with yourself, being honoring yourself and your experience in the moment, and allowing for the energy to shift and to change, allowing for things to oscillate in and out of your life without a great deal of attachment, because things are in a great state of flux, but also taking note of those intuitive nudges and moving forwards with them, because we are being led right now to our greatest potential, and that does mean sometimes we have to let go of what we can no longer carry. So I'm going to leave this message here, but I wanted to wish you a really happy new moon and just send you absolutely all my love. It's a pleasure to be here and to share these messages. It won't necessarily resonate with all of you, but I hope it resonates with some of you. All of my links are in the description box below. I've got new items listed on my store and readings available if you'd like a personal reading. But thank you for your presence. Like, follow, and subscribe if you feel called. But I love you very much, and I'll see you again really soon. Take care.